everybody, welcome to Big Balls Fantasy Football, the show with powerful picks, sexy super fans, and that's really fun. I'm your host, 27-year fantasy veteran, Greg Reifsteck.
And I'm your co-host, Jenilee. We're both very big Bears fans, and together we are the beauty
and the beast
of fantasy football experts.
So, Jenilee, do you think the dictionary should just change the definition of interception to when Jay Cutler throws a duck and breaks the heart of an entire city?
Maybe should. We know Jay Cutler is Jay Cutler,
Yeah.
so unfortunately, yes, he threw a pick in the game against the Packers. That happens pretty much every time we play the Packers. Almost every time he plays.
Yep.
So, Cutler's Cutler. There's no big surprise there with the fact that he threw an interception. Very, very disappointing, the timing in the game that he threw it.
That's what he usually does. I mean, we were leading 13-10 at the half, and we were doing very well. Fox had a very good game plan. We were running the ball like crazy in the first half, then got a little pass happy in the second half. I know you disagree with me a little bit, but we were still running forte. But then Cutler, of course, had that opportunity and just threw it, and Clay Matthews, of all people, Clay Matthews jumps the route and basically took the game away from us.
Yeah, absolutely. There were about 4 minutes left. I think it was around the 4-minute mark left in the game. The Bears needed a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie the game at that point, and Cutler threw the pick. And I believe we were on Green Bay's 35, around their 35-yard line, because we had a very good field position from a punt return. So very, very disappointing. That basically sealed it for the Packers. And again, it's a Jay Cutler mistake that really is the thing that I believe lost us the game. Forte had an amazing game.
He sure did.
Green Bay was stopping him a little bit better in the second half than they were the first half, but we were still sticking with the balance very well. The only time that I think we got a little too pass happy was down there in the red zone when we had 4 chances to get a touchdown, and we didn't get a touchdown.
Yeah, one of them being, an incomplete, in the end zone. It's kind of embarrassing. Eddie Royal having a little bit of injury problems in the game. Alshon Jeffrey still gimpy. Still a little gimpy. I'll get to, we'll talk about that maybe in a little bit. But, just damn it, Cutler. Damn it. Can't say it enough. Anyway, let's get to the fantasy stats in the game. Well, let's just talk about the defense was good.
Looked a lot better.
Much
a lot
changed.
Better than the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
And they came out of the gate better than I thought. We've talked about the fact that the defense is going to be a work in progress over the season. I didn't expect them to play as good as they did against Green Bay in this game, but they actually came out of the gate stronger than I thought. Yeah,
we held them for a while. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and he has way more people to pass to than we do.
Yeah.
So even with injuries, James Jones, for crying out loud, 51 yards only, but those 2 touchdowns that totally broke us. The guy just got signed. He basically had just, gotten off the airport and came to the stadium practically and just killed us. Rodgers, 189 for 3 touchdowns. Lacey, 19 rushes for 85 yards. Tacked on, had a touchdown, and then had 2 receptions for 14 yards, about 100 yards for him. That, that's good. Still gonna, unfortunately, get you a loss.
Yeah, and the thing is that James Jones and Rodgers have the chemistry, so that's something that they played together for a long time, even though he left for a year. They have that chemistry, and Allen Ball was just getting beat the whole game by Jones, so that was a problem. But looking at those stats that you just read of Rodgers, that's really good. I mean, we held him to under 200 yards passing.
That is impressive.
I mean, that is really impressive. So I think our main troubles are in the red zone in both areas, offense and defense. On offense, we have to score touchdowns. When we get in the red zone, we were kicking a lot of field goals. And then again, the defense wasn't playing bad, but that red zone is where you have to stop the other team. So if they can fix the red zone areas, we'll win some games this year.
Robbie Gould, still one of your top fantasy scorers.
I have him on one of my teams.
11 points, still our VIP. You got your field goals, your 2 extra points. You're good to go, right? Oh my God, it's so sad that that's still true. But Bennett, who's on one of my teams, our beautiful tight end, 55 yards and a touchdown. Jeffrey, 5 receptions for 78 yards, being gimpy. You can't complain about that.
He was definitely gimpy. I felt like you could tell that he was running slower, maybe not running his routes as crisp. So you can tell that calf was affecting him. I felt like he was out there more so as a decoy than anything else. He got going toward the end of the game is when they needed him because we needed to score and we needed to move down the field. But we just didn't see the Jeffrey that we hope to be seeing.
Yeah, no. Hopefully in a few weeks it'll be just like B. Marsh last year. He'll improve, and we'll get him at full health at some point. The only last thing I want to mention is, isn't it great to have a coach that yells and gets pissed the fuck off? I was so happy. We were at Tin Horn Flats. We'll show you that in our fan segment. And we were all going crazy because Fox, our coach, John Fox, is a stud. He's out there yelling at the refs. He's pissed off at calls. And he's just fired up, unlike Tressman, who would just sit there with his card. Or Lovey, that would go like this.
Yeah, Lovey always did look confused. Lovey always looked like he wasn't sure what was going on in the game, which makes you very scared as a fan.
Yeah.
But yes, I love our coaching staff. We've been talking about that this whole off season. I think they're a great staff. I think they just have to work with what they have this year. They don't have the best at all of the positions, I know as they would hope. So this is definitely a transition year. But the team came out fired up.
Oh, hell yeah.
They came out ready to play. And the team, they never gave up. Even after the Cutler interception, when I felt like, okay, the game is done, this game is sealed, the team didn't give up. So that's always a good thing. And one more thing I wanted to mention, of course, Matt Forte was the workhorse. We were talking to you guys about that, telling you, start him in fantasy for sure. He's going to be the guy. And he went nuts. He had 141 yards and a touchdown. Just had a phenomenal day. So if he keeps producing like that, John Fox is going to stick with him, and he's going to have a great season this whole season. But I will warn everyone, I'm just going to say this really quick, I'm just going to warn everyone's getting a little hyped up about the game against the Cardinals, and they're like, we're probably going to beat the Cardinals, and who knows, maybe we will win the game. But the Cardinals' defense is a lot better than Green Bay's defense.
Yeah, Green Bay's defense we know is Swiss cheese on the run. And that's why they tightened up in the second half, because we got redundant. But in the first half, we were killing. And
the Cardinals are good against both the run and the pass. So I don't expect Forte to go as crazy as he did against Green Bay. And our receivers are going to have a tougher time too. So that's just a mini warning.
Yeah. Carson Palmer was on fire last week. So we'll see which one of him shows up. Maybe we can injure him for the season. That'd be great. He's not on any of my teams. Anyway.
Hey, we don't wish for injuries on this show.
I guess we don't. Anyway, speaking of injuries and injury reports, you got to go and get the app. If you're used to watching us here on YouTube, you got to go and get the Big Balls app. You can find it in the iTunes store. You can find it in the Apple App Store. You can find it over there in the Google Play Store for you Android people. And you're going to get injury reports. Everybody that has it, we were getting compliments saying, damn, we got a lot of push notifications. You want to turn those on, because you can complain about them a little bit, but when you're sitting there waiting right before the second games on Sunday, and you need to know if somebody's actually going to be in or not on a game time decision, that's where we're going to come in. Yeah,
and it's awesome to wake up on Sunday and look at your phone and already know the players that are in and out for that week. You don't even have to start on your computer. You don't even have to do your own research. You can just switch up your teams. So definitely go get the app. You can ask us lineup questions on there. Those are always fun for us to answer for sure. I know we've gotten a couple. And we're going to have new pictures up very, very soon. So that's always another little fun added thing. And don't forget to go to the rest of our social media that we have. Of course, we're on Facebook, facebook.com/BigBallsFantasyFootball. We're on Twitter. You can tweet us at BigBallsFBall. So pretty much we are all over social media. And of course, our website is BigBallsFantasyFootball.com.
Yeah, and don't forget also on that app, you won't get them on the website and you won't get them on YouTube. You will get Cash's and Prost's apps. On the app, you'll get their blogs that this week you're going to get the old one-hit blunders are back, everybody. All of you that used to listen to the podcast when we first started 3 years ago, the one-hit blunders are back, and Prost has 2 of them for you this week, and Cash, of course, has his gambles every week, and we're actually sharing one gamble this week.
Nice.
And Prost is going against our gamble. So you got to read it all and find out what the whole maelstrom is over Mariota.
Yeah, that's the fun part about our show. We don't always all agree, so... You know, you get to pick and choose whose advice you want to take for which week. So, but the blogs are great. I read them all the time. Every time they're posted, I go on our app and read them. So,
yeah. Well, who's going first this week?
Beasting Out. I'm sorry, it's not Beast Mode this year. We changed it. Beasting Out is going first this week.
Hey everybody, welcome to Beasting Out. It's week 2 of fantasy, and I, of course, am going to give you 2 go hard picks that are going to score for your team this week, and I'm going to give you 2 go soft picks that aren't going to do quite as well in their matchups this week. I am wearing this week my special tribute to my first go hard this week with, of course, the Oregon Ducks. And one of the songs that they play, one of the fight songs they play at all their games, Shout, and a wonderful reference to Animal House. And of course, this guy, they put out an ESPN video of for game day of Marcus Mariota in Animal House. It was just so funny. Let's get on with it. Go hard, Marcus Mariota this week for sure. You can't not put him in this week. He has a really great matchup, and I know you're saying, well, he's a rookie, and a lot of you people, especially Prost, on his blog, on our app, said, you know, he tied Fran Tarkenton's rookie debut record. He got 4 touchdowns in his first week in the NFL. He got no interceptions, and this is just a fluke. He's not going to do it next week. Well, he might not get 4 touchdowns this week, but he is playing the Browns defense. Anybody can score against the Browns defense. And as long as the Titans and their coaching staff keep letting Mariota roll out like they should, instead of keeping him stuck in the pocket, he is going to go crazy this week. I at least think he's going to get 3 touchdowns, at least 200 yards. He might throw his first pick. Who knows? But Mariota is your guy to go to this week if you are playing matchups. I am in a bad position this week, personally, with Ben Roethlisberger in a really bad matchup with the defense. I'm going to pop him in, everybody, and I think you should too. Last week, of course, 4 touchdowns. He went 13 for 16, 209 yards, and a 158.3 passer rating, which is near perfect. So you don't want to forget that when you're putting him in this week either. My next pick is running back Chris Ivory of the Jets. Reason you need to put him in is he is also in a really good matchup this week. He's up against the notoriously horrible run defense of the Colts. We know how bad they are. We've seen people run around them like crazy. And Chris Ivory had a great week last week. 2 touchdowns, 20 rushes, 91 yards, a 4.6 yards per catch in week 1 against the Browns. Once again, bad run defenses. You got to take these players and you got to take advantage of them on the weeks that you have them available, because then you're going to have them up against bad defenses and you're not going to get as good of a point percentage out of them. So definitely get Ivory in this week. He is my second go hard. So let's get on to the go softs. I never thought I would ever have to say this on this show, last season, 2 seasons ago, we were talking about getting Manning. 7 touchdowns in his debut game of the season. Peyton Manning going crazy. Still has gas in the tank after that neck surgery. Now, you unfortunately have a guy that doesn't have as much arm strength, and I'm going to get crap from a few Broncos fans on that, but I think his arm strength is a little bit lacking. I also think the change in coach, Fox now has, of course, come over to the Bears. Now you have Kubiak coaching over on the Broncos. It's more of a grind and pound offense, and you have that with our grind and pound defense, and it's a slower game. And Peyton is used to it moving a little bit faster and used to throwing those long passes. Well, he can't throw them anymore, so Kubiak is turning into a grind game, and you're looking at more points out of C.J. Anderson. You're looking at more points from Ronnie Hillman, but not as many points out of Peyton. Pretty damn embarrassing first week. Of course, he was playing against the Ravens, so he has an excuse there. No touchdowns for Peyton Manning in fantasy. 175 yards. I got 5 points out of him in Yahoo and ended up losing because you put Peyton Manning in week 1. Even against the Ravens, you thought, okay, maybe I'll get 20 points out of him. I got 5 points. Kansas City's defense is coming up this week, and that's not going to be a treat for him either. They've been playing very well, so I think you should avoid him this week. I hate to say that. I mean, a lot of you, of course, forced to take him, put him in your lineup because you took him early in your draft. But if you have another choice with a better matchup, I'd put them in. So my final go soft this week is Amir Abdullah over on the Lions. He has a halfway decent matchup the week that against the Chargers. He played last week and got 1 touchdown, 50 yards rushing. He got 4 receptions for 44 yards. That's an 11.1 average per carry. But week 2, he's playing the Vikings, which usually would be ominous, but they looked pretty sketchy last night up against the Niners. And also, a lot of you know that AP didn't take off as much as he should have. In the running game, they're being very cautious with him. Nobody really knows why, if they just think he's injury prone or if they're just changing their scheme. But I think the Vikings will bounce back, and I think they're going to take it to the Lions. And it's also, you have to remember always that notorious division game. When the Bears play the Packers, you're not going to get as good of fantasy numbers. When the Vikings end up going up against the Lions, you're not going to get as good of a fantasy percentage on your points. So I don't like this matchup, even though the Vikings let Hyde run all over the place. But this just doesn't smell good to me. I don't think you should put him in your lineup, and he's definitely a go soft. So coming up next, we are going to have Jenilee's Real Men and her go hards and go softs. Stay tuned.
I need a real man. Have you seen him?
Welcome to week 2 in my Real Men segment. We are up and going for fantasy this year. I went 2-1 this week in my league, so I did pretty good. And I only lost my 3rd league by 2 points. So that was a little frustrating, but at least I won 2 of my other ones. Now, I can admit when I'm wrong, and my week 1 picks were not so phenomenal for you guys, so apologies here. But week 1 in the NFL is a little bit wacky. It's definitely a learning week to see what teams are doing, what players are going to go off, what defenses are doing. So as we've talked about before, the first month, you're learning a lot of the trends that are going to happen throughout the season, but especially in week 1 or 2, there's always some wacky stuff that happens. But this week, these picks should definitely get you points, and then the go-softs are the people that you should probably be cautious of because they definitely don't have the best matchups, and week 1 teaches us a lot. So let me get going with my first go-hard pick, and my first go-hard pick is none other than Marshawn Lynch, beast mode for sure. Now, I know a lot of you were probably a little disappointed in week 1 because he did not get you the fantasy points that you're used to, but he was up against a very tough defense. I'll talk about that in a second. This week, he has a much better matchup. He is playing the Packers. Let's not forget, in the NFC Championship game last year, he went for 157 yards and a touchdown versus the Packers. He can run all over the Packers defense. There's no question about that. The Packers defense is not very good against the run this year. At least they're not yet, as we saw this week, because Matt Forte went for 141 yards and 1 touchdown against them. They could not do much against Forte at all. And you have to think about the fact that the Rams D is a very, very good defense. That's why Marshawn Lynch did not go off last week, but he did still get 73 yards against them. So he didn't have a horrible, horrible day, and that's a much better defense than this Packer defense. I expect him to definitely go over 100 yards this week with 1, maybe 2 touchdowns for you all. I think he's definitely going to get in the end zone this week. So he's a guy you have to get in your lineup for sure. Let's move it on to my next go hard. My next go hard pick is tight end Kyle Rudolph. Now, I like this guy at tight end, and if you have him, you should get him in your lineup this week. They do play the Lions, which divisional matchups aren't the best for fantasy, but I like him this week. He went 5 of 7 for 53 yards in week 1 versus the Niners, though those by no means are amazing stats. But check this out. He was tied for the most targets on the team, so he is getting targeted. And again, he's going against the Lions defense. The Niners defense looked very good last week. A little surprisingly, I didn't expect them to look that good, but they did. The Lions defense allowed 388 passing yards in week 1. The Chargers were going nuts against them, and they allowed the Chargers tight end Ladarius Green. He went for 5 for 74 yards and a touchdown. He got in the end zone. So they're not proving to be too amazing against these big tight ends. And this is the Vikings' first home game as well. So I think this is going to be a good matchup for Kyle Rudolph. I think he's going to be targeted. I definitely think he can get you a touchdown. I think he's going to be one of your top tight ends this week. Get him in your lineup. Let's move it on to my go soft picks. These are guys that you want to stay away from. They're probably not going to put up the numbers. And before I get to my first one, let me just say I should have reversed last week's Brady pick for this week. Brady's against the Buffalo Bills this week, and I don't think he's going to put up those numbers that he did against the Steelers. So I should have reversed that one, but that's just an extra one for you guys. My real first go soft, though, this week is I'm going to pick on rookies a little bit this week, and it's running back Melvin Gordon of the Chargers. Now, this is why I don't like him. He only had 3.6 yards per carry average in week 1 against the Lions. That by no means is a great average on that. And this is another reason I don't like him is he only had 14 touches in week 1 and Danny Woodhead had 12. And Woodhead also vultured his touchdowns and Woodhead had 2 touchdowns and Gordon had none. So that's not a good situation there. They like Woodhead over there and they are using him. So those carries are going to be split. And the real reason I don't like Gordon this week is because he's playing against the Bengals defense. The Bengals defense looks really good, especially their front 4 is very, very good. They only allowed 63 rushing yards in week 1. Granted, they were playing Oakland, but Latavius Murray is a good running back, and they did not let him go crazy. That Bengals front is good. I just don't look for Gordon to have a very good week this week. And let's move it on to my second go soft for this week. My second go soft, again, I'm picking on rookies a little bit, is wide receiver Amari Cooper. I have him in one of my leagues, and I'm seriously going to bench him this week because I just don't like his matchup. He only went 5 of 9 for 47 yards, 0 touchdowns. That's something to look at. Did not get in the end zone in week 1 against the Bengals. But Carr has a bruised thumb. They're not sure if he's going yet. Even if he's going, he's probably not going to be making the best passes. He might be in a little bit of pain. That's just not a good thing when you might not have your starting quarterback there to throw to your wide receiver. And they are playing the Ravens. Ravens defense, as Greg talked about already, looked phenomenal. They held Peyton Manning to 175 yards and no touchdowns. less than 200 yards Peyton Manning had passing against them. Carr is not going to do good even if he is playing. And no wide receivers had more than 65 yards against that tough Ravens defense. So he hasn't started out phenomenally. He's against a tough defense. I just don't like this matchup for this week. So there you go. Those are the go hards and go softs. Again, these are going to be much better for you this week than last week. And keep an eye out and watch for that Tom Brady stuff against the Buffalo Bills because also he does not play good against Rex Ryan defenses either, and the Bills defense is just amazing. So there we go, wrapping it up for this week. Don't forget to download our app, of course. Go on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter. We're on all of it, our website. You can find us everywhere, but definitely go get that app. That is the thing to have. It's going to help you out this year for fantasy. So thank you guys for watching, and good night.
Hey everybody, Big Balls Fantasy Football here at the Outpost in Hollywood for NFL Kickoff 2015. It's going to be an awesome game. You, of course, have on one side of the ball Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown. Unfortunately, he is without two of his weapons tonight, Le'Veon Bell and Bryant at wide receiver. So he's going to have to settle for having Marcus Wheaton helping him out. And he's also going to have D'Angelo Williams helping him out on the other side of the ball after the big old Deflategate scandal. You, of course, have Tom Brady, Mr. Wonderful. He's going to come out gunning at Julian Edelman, who is actually well tonight. And Darth Vader is always going to have some tricks up his sleeve. So let's go in and see the Steelers fans and the Bronco fans. The Broncos fans have always been here at the Outpost. And the Steelers fans have now come in and are taking over the other side of the bar. It's going to be an interesting mixture. Talked to a few of the Broncos fans. They're not happy about it right now. So let's go inside and watch some football. Here, this used to be a nice, friendly Denver bar. Johnny, what do you think?
It's fucking bullshit, man. It's still our bar. You're still in Broncos country, bitch.
You're damn right.
Fucking Broncos country. Huh.
All right, as I said, we're going to have some Steelers fans on the show, and I have one of the biggest Steelers fans I know. It's Phil. How's it going, Phil?
Be going pretty good. Steelers can pull this off, baby.
Uh-huh. What's the score prediction you got right now?
I don't want to say my score prediction. I predict the Patriots to win.
You're predicting the Patriots to win. What's your score prediction?
How you doing?
What's your score prediction?
42-24.
Really, really. Now, is that because you have, I know you play fantasy football. Do you have some Patriots on your team?
I have Tom Brady.
Oh, no wonder he wants them to win. Fantasy versus reality, isn't it a bitch?
No. Actually, I think because normally I'd want my Steelers to win, fuck the fantasy. But there's a pissed off Tom Brady against a young Steelers defense. He's going to eat us alive.
Really, really. Interesting. Well, I hear them getting started inside. Let's go watch the game. We'll talk to you a little bit later, Phil.
Hey guys, welcome back to yet another season of Big Balls Fantasy Football. I'm Ashley, aka Smash, and as you probably know, I love to do the fan segments, and we've got a brand new segment called Represent. That's right, that means you, as the fan, are going to represent your team. And right now, it is Thursday Night Football kickoff with the Steelers versus the Patriots, and I have a Steelers fan here, Philip Steelers, as we can see. Obviously a Steeler fan and a fantasy football player. Phil, question, real quick. Patriots are back. Brady is back. Edelman is back. Le'Veon Bell is out. How are you feeling about the game right now?
I'm a very diehard Steelers fan, but I also know football. We gonna get killed.
That's real fan talk right there. So diehard fan, you're going to be actually admit you're going to be killed?
You got a pissed off Tom Brady. You got a young defense with the Steelers. He's going to light them up, and that's what he's doing right now.
So in 2 weeks from now, when Le'Veon Bell comes back, do you think you'll be back on top? Game going?
The offense will be fine. Le'Veon Bell's going to get people a lot of points in fantasy. It's the defense I'm worried about. Can they figure out by week 8 what they're going to do? That's the big thing here. Is if the defense can figure it out, yeah, we'll be fine. The offense can outscore anybody, sure, but it's the defense going to have to stop those teams like the Patriots, like the Colts, like the Seahawks, that can outscore, that can score 30, 40 points a game.
Completely agree. I did not take the Steelers D for reasons that he just stated. Neither did he. I did take Le'Veon Bell. I did take Le'Veon Bell in my draft, so I will have to wait 2 whole weeks to see if I'm going to actually have the points that I think he's going to put up. But we're about to get back to the second half of the game, so we'll see if the Steelers can dethrone the Super Bowl champs.
Big Balls Fantasy Football here. We're ending our night with, of course, a Patriots fan. But let's talk about the Patriots fantasy-wise tonight. It's been the Gronk show. He has 2 touchdowns. He's been going crazy for you in fantasy. He probably has about 20 points for you right now, and he's going nuts. Edelman, he's putting up some fantasy points for you too. And, of course, Tom Brady. Let's talk to somebody that is a huge Tom Brady fan. Of course, we have Ashley here. How you doing, Ashley?
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. So, you are like the only Patriots fan in the house tonight. How are you feeling being around all these Steelers?
Like a champion.
Like a champion. Of course. When you win the Super Bowl, you feel like a champion.
Yes.
But of course, that championship was marred by a lot of stuff, especially Deflategate. Let's talk about a little bit. What's your opinion as a fan about all that controversy?
My opinion is that Tom Brady is innocent, so that should say it all.
Really?
Yeah. If people want to tweet out that all the balls are deflated by 2 pounds each, and people want to believe that, which was incorrect, but no one ever corrected, that's fine. But we all know who's. I mean, he's winning right now. Balls deflated, inflated, he's going to win.
Yeah, they have security. They have security on all the balls tonight, and he's studding out.
Yes.
They really do. They have this tight now. Every game to be tight security on all the balls. That kind of has a whole double entendre within itself. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So let's get this outfit though. This is a super fan right here. We got the shorts. Show us the shorts. Look up there.
We got red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
And we also got red, white, and blue on the sneakers.
Yeah. Tell us about that. You were telling me, I was like, you're wearing that for the Patriots, but no, why are you really wearing that? America.
America. Right here we got America.
Look at that. We have a true Patriot
It would be
here.
un-American to root for the Steelers.
And why is that? Where are you from?
I'm from Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Where America was invented.
Well, so there you go. You have it right here from the horse's mouth. You have Ashley here telling them like it is from the East Coast. Let's just tune out right on that. Let's give the final word. What's your final word on tonight's Patriots game?
Boston, City of Champions. Tom Brady, greatest of all time.
There you have it. Big Ball signing off. Boston, City of Champions. Good night. Hey everybody, Big Balls Fantasy Football here as we always are, week 1 of the Bears season at the Tin Horn in Burbank. Of course here with Jenilee, and we are here to watch the Bears and the Packers, unfortunately, as our first game this season.
Yeah, I'm so excited because it's the Bears' first game. I'm just so excited that football is finally back. But yes, unfortunately, our Bears are playing the Packers. But they're playing at Soldier Field, so at least the fans will be rooting for the home team.
That's true. It'll be a good time, it'll be a good game to watch, but we still have Jay Cutler at quarterback, and that's still a big problem. he gets inside of his head every single time he plays the Packers. As I said on our regular show, 1 for 10 against the Packers in the last 11 games. He always gets inside of his head. Hopefully, Jay, maybe with new coaching by John Fox, maybe drank some different Kool-Aid, as they say, and maybe has his shit together.
Yeah, hopefully Adam Gase has a good plan for this game, and obviously we've talked about that they're going to stick with running the ball a lot with Forte,
Yes,
so hopefully
Forte.
that'll help Cutler out.
Mhm.
Alshon is in, Eddie
Yes.
Royal is in, and Marquise Wilson is in, so we at least do have our receivers back,
Yep.
which he didn't have them to work with much in the preseason.
Right.
So we're just hoping that helps it out. And I'm wearing Urlacher today, and I'm also wearing my hat that Peanut signed because our defense is going to need all the luck that they can get against Aaron Rodgers. Of course, Jordy Nelson is out for the season, but he does still have Randall Cobb, Eddie Lacy, and an abundance to work with over there. So this is, for our defense. Come on, defense. Let's do this. Vic Fangio.
Yep.
I love what you're getting out of our defense so far in the preseason. It might take a few weeks to click, but maybe we can work out some miracles today.
Definitely. All right, well, let's get in there, drink some beers, and watch the game. Watch for us at halftime.
Woo! Go Bears! Bear
Go
down!
Bears!
Raise them up!
I want to make a toast to the much improved Chicago Bears.
That's Forte, baby! First touchdown of the season! Go Bears!
Bears game at the wonderful Tin Horn Flats out here in Burbank. You get to play some free touch football. That's right. Look at that. Sometimes you get an Alshon Jeffrey, and sometimes you get, somebody that's not Alshon Jeffrey. But we got some good people here. We got some true fans. Everybody comes out decked out for the game. Really fun people. Good Tin Horn showing here today. A lot of really good. You got people wrestling for the ball down there. There's Louis. All right. Hey everybody, Big Balls Fantasy Football. So Jenilee, I have a few questions for you. If I would have told you that we were going to be winning against the Packers, our Bears were going to be winning against the Packers, would you have believed me?
I don't think I would have believed you. It is halftime and the Bears are up 13-10.
Are you kidding me? Are you shitting me?
It is awesome. A low-scoring game, which is pretty normal for the Bears-Packers or Bears with any of their division rivals. They don't tend to be too high-scoring most of the time.
Yeah.
But this one is lower scoring on the Packer side, and I like seeing that.
Our coordinators, I think you have to finally respect the coaching on our team. We might not have the personnel in right now, but the coaching is just insane.
They really are. I agree with that. Adam Gase is calling great plays as the offensive coordinator. He's not making Cutler do too much.
Right.
We're running the ball a lot with Forte.
Matt Forte, over 100 yards, about 102, 103 right now, and a touchdown. He's actually, in this game, fantasy-wise, like the only win right now so far.
He is for sure. Alshon only has one catch, I believe, for 25 yards. But he's dealing with that calf, so I think they're not trying to have Alshon do too much. I think he's out there more so right now as a decoy because they need him out there, but they're just not trying to make him do too much. And you can tell by the way he's running, he's not as fast. He's definitely not 100%. So.
And then, unfortunately, we have Eddie Royal going back to the locker room. Looks like probably to get an MRI. Did you hear what the injury was? You were a little bit closer than me.
Yeah, it looked like they're checking him out for a concussion, probably. That's what it actually looks like. So he might be actually going through the concussion protocol.
Which means we might actually get him back. You never know if he's able to pass.
Yeah, you never know. It's halftime, so you definitely never know. Another thing I want to say is the Bears are not playing as messy of football as Green Bay. with the flags and the penalties. Green Bay has had a lot of penalties so far, which is surprising for them. They usually don't get too many. They're usually a really organized football team, obviously, not playing too messy. So the Bears have done very well with penalties, and right now it looks good. I mean, we still have a whole other half to go, so you never know what can happen. But, hey, we're winning at halftime, and that's what matters.
Definitely. John Fox, I couldn't agree with you more, is keeping his team disciplined. They walk up to the line, they set the play. Cutler looks very relaxed, and if it works, it works. It doesn't, it doesn't. Every play isn't going to work. We're not a juggernaut right now, but the fact that we have held the Packers to 10 points is ridiculous. Ridiculous in my mind. So stay tuned, and we will talk to you guys at the end of the game.
Absolutely.
Check if my hair came out okay.
Now watch this. Watch this. You ready for this?
Is it long? Do you have the app? Over there.
Hold on.
I'm videoing you, don't worry. We're professionals.
How's my hair?
You look beautiful.
That's what she said.
Perfect.
Okay.
There might be one out of place.
This is on timer. Ready? Ready?
1, 2.